Be prepared to be completely...
This field in Cornwall is far from foreign, but Ray Robinson is a long way from home. He's travelled down from Sunderland to seek the help of a former comrade.
What we'll do in a minute is we'll do a bit of light relaxation work.
Robbo, as he's known, served in the Rifles with Martin Webster, or Webby, back in 1999. He left the regulars, but missed it so much he joined the Territorial Army. On a 6-month deployment to Afghanistan last year, he saw a friend blown up by an improvised explosive device, and he's been unable to forget it.
That memory's still there.
Yeah.
And it was a daily occurrence. Sometimes a couple of times a day I'd go over it and you get the adrenaline rush. I'd feel upset, withdrawn. I'd start moving away from family and friends, cut myself off.
If that was the front wheel of your bike, how smooth would the ride be?
Not very smooth.
No?
Webby recognises the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. He's overcome it himself and is now helping people like Robbo through a system developed in the last few years called Spectrum Therapy.
The way we're trained as therapists is that everything you do in your life you learn unconsciously. So if you're going to unlearn it, you need to go to the unconscious to unlearn it as well. So that's what we're doing. We're unprogramming things at the unconscious level. And all you do is, like when you listen to the sound of the rain outside, just know you're totally safe. So what do you need to learn to let go of that guilt?
I wasn't responsible.
That's right, you wasn't responsible. Is that positive?
Yeah.
And after just a few hours, the early signs seem encouraging for Robbo.
I think I can actually think about and talk about it without actually being upset and the guilt. And
yeah.
Where normally I would feel all twisted and that, and I couldn't get the words out.
That was 3 days ago. This morning I found Webby and Robbo on Gillenvays Beach in Falmouth.
So what I want you to recognise is just get in tune with your body. Listen to what Harry says when you go into the water. Go in slowly and just sort of listen to your body.
They were enjoying the cleansing effect of an early morning dip in the ocean.
How was that, Robbo? That was very cold but refreshing. Yeah, it was a pleasant experience. Now I can say that I'm out.
I also met James Hamilton, a 25-year-old former soldier who's back home in Cornwall after being released from prison. Back at camp, he tells me he's found it difficult to adjust to civilian life.
We're all human at the end of the day, and you put a lot of pressure on one person. I think that one person is just going to explode. And I think that's pretty much what it was. I had too much going on, and I was just a hand grenade really at the end of the day, and that was it.
His family sought Webby's help, and though it's early days, his mum says she can already see a difference.
He gets on extremely well now with his sister, who was actually at one point quite frightened of him. And they're just like two little peas in a pod now, which is really nice. He has a really good relationship with his dad, and James is really relaxed and is now stepping up to the mark of family life.
Feeling those emotions inside, knowing whenever you feel challenged that they'll be there.
Spectrum therapy is currently being evaluated in a study by Wolverhampton University. It's hoped it will eventually be adopted by the NHS alongside existing therapies for people suffering the effects of PTSD.
I've been getting counselled between military and civilian for a good 18 months, and it's not made any a big impact on his way now. I've come here in over 4 days. It's been an incredible short journey.
Robbo now faces a 460-mile drive back home to Sunderland, but he sets off with a newfound confidence. He's already on the road to recovery.
I'm not having nightmares. I'm getting a good 8 hours sleep, which I couldn't do before. And it's been a very pleasant experience.
Scott Bingham, BBC Spotlight, Falmouth. Shock and awe, the images burned into our memories as Operation Iraqi Freedom began 10 years ago. The rights and wrongs of the invasion are still up for debate a decade on, but for thousands of Southwest troops, it was just another war. 179 British personnel were killed during the conflict, and many more were changed forever by their experiences in Iraq. Few have had a higher profile than Martin Webster from Falmouth.
Oh yes, you're going to get it.
During a tour of duty in Iraq in 2003, he filmed this video of soldiers beating Iraqi children they believed had been throwing grenades at them. It caused outrage around the world. No criminal charges were brought against any of the troops involved, and Martin is still unrepentant.
I don't feel anything about it now, to be honest. I mean, I'm grateful that the film got released, because it sort of made me have a little snapshot of myself and take a step back and think, right, I need to seriously change, because at the time, I mean, the night before I'd been involved in killing somebody, so the psychological effects that were happening to me at the time, I got put on the rooftop to cool down, and what happened at the end of the day. It's war, it's a messy business.
The media frenzy, which he says became a witch hunt, saw his life spiral out of control.
It was very bad. I mean, I lost my house, I ended up homeless, went bankrupt, and it was a whole accumulation of things.
He made a film about his experiences, the diary of a disgraced soldier. And he says, in a strange way, he's now grateful that in 2007 it made him realise he was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD.
It was a very cathartic process, in the sense of got it off my chest. I got to say what had happened out there with Diary of a Disgraced Soldier. I don't believe I'm a disgraced soldier at all. Looking back now, I was an excellent soldier.
Martin has now trained as a counsellor and is helping other soldiers suffering from the same symptoms. He's hoping to set up a centre on this farm near Falmouth for residential care.
When I work with people now that have got PTSD and they say, you don't know what it's like, I do know what it's like, I have been there, but you can overcome that. So, I say to anyone who wants to come for our programme, if you want to change, we can help you.
He says he'll never forget Iraq and hopes it can change too.
We did what we did over there. I hope Iraq one day can have peace. I don't look back in any way of any sort of anger towards the Iraqi people. I hope that one day that country can be restored to peace. I hopefully it's sort of on the sort of road to recovery.
And one South West man is helping the country along that road. For the last 4 years, the former South East Cornwall MP, Colin Breed, has been advising the Iraqi Parliament.
So the place is looking much less like a war zone than it does a normal city. But of course, there are still lots of troops on the streets, and there is still quite a lot of checkpoints. But very, very gradually, hopefully, life hopefully will come back to some sort of more normality.
As a Liberal Democrat, he was opposed to the war, but he says things are slowly improving, and many people in Iraq now appreciate the British effort.
Whatever happened in us going in and removing Saddam, and whatever the human cost, which was enormous, the financial cost was massive. Whatever that is, we are where we are, and we need to rebuild. And I think they're beginning to recognise that at least we, as the UK, have more than gone the extra mile to help them.
Whether the war was worth it will be debated for decades to come, but 10 years on, Iraq is a country changed forever, and both there and here at home, countless lives will never be the same again. Scott Bingham, BBC Spotlight.